Give me what I want. Give me what I want. You know what I want. Give me what I want, or I'm going to continue to hurt people you love. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. You know what I want. You just don't want to give it to me. Give it to me. Give me what I want.
We're going to give you what you want.
That's not what I want.
What's up, guys? AW here, presenting you my wrestling channel, latest SmackDown Wrestling and Sports. So what's up, guys? I'm gonna put a headset in, okay? I'm not inviting anybody on. What's up? So, yeah, this is an afternoon stream. This is not a wrestling stream or anything. It's not a wrestling topic. It's a baseball. It's a baseball topic. Okay. Baseball topic. It's not going to probably be a long stream. As you know, baseball is my favorite sport, okay? So baseball is my favorite sport. Just to let you all know. And so, before we get into the MLB 2023 season preview and predictions, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment below your thoughts, please. And once this video is done, make sure to comment below or watch on the replay, whatever. Wherever you want. It's always up to you. Okay, guys? So, the MLB season for 2023 is in less than 2 weeks. Tomorrow, whatever. No. Yesterday is 2 weeks, 2 weeks officially from opening day. So 13 days to the MLB season officially starts. Right now, the World Baseball Classic is going on, but that's not what I'm going to talk about here. I'm going to talk about the season, the upcoming season. Give you my preview and predictions of what I think is going to happen during the season, what I think the standings, who's going to make it to the playoffs, who's going to win divisions, who's going to advance to the World Series, who's going to win the World Series. Very early predictions. Okay? So, let's get on with it, okay? This offseason was very, very, exciting. A lot of big signings, some trades. And yeah, surprises is offseason. Okay, so we got a bunch of shortstops that changed destinations. Pitchers changed destinations. So another third baseman opting out just to get a better contract. Some preseason injuries, some devastating injuries. New rules in the sport of baseball that is actually speeding up the game. Except in the World Baseball Classic, that is not speeding up the game at all. But I'm from Toronto, and I'm a Blue Jay fan. I'm good, Derpy. And I'm excited for this season as a Blue Jay fan because I believe this team could definitely compete for a World Series. Definitely compete with the Yankees for the AL East. I'm not as high on the Yankees as some people believe. I don't like their offense besides Judge and maybe Stanton. I don't trust their pitching, really. I mean, Rodon is hurt right now. Cole is still good, but he is not the pitcher he once was. Yeah, we do. We do have pitching. Yeah, you do. What are you talking about? We do have pitching. So I'm going to talk about. Yeti, dude, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, Derpy? Manoa had an ERA in the twos. Gosman in the threes. Burials had a terrible year, but we had our pen. Our pen got better this year. But I'm gonna go with the. I'm gonna talk from the AL East, okay? AL East. Let's talk AL East. I'll bring up the standings. All the teams in the AL East. This is not the standings. I mean, this is from Fox, okay? ESPN. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna go over. We're gonna go over first AL East. We got Baltimore, Boston, New York, Toronto, and Tampa Bay, all in the AL East, American League East. Perhaps the toughest division in all baseball. You know the Yankees. They're always gonna be in it. Okay, Yankees. You know the Yankees are always the team to beat. Yes, they got MVP Judge. They got Stanton. They have an okay offense, but not a great offense. Their pitching, if healthy, is good. It's just that Rodon is hurt right now. Cortez is hurt. Cole is still good, but he's not great anymore. Montez, who is overrated, is hurt. It might be out for a very long time. Their bullpen is still solid. And they're still the team to beat in the AL East, but I wouldn't be safe. I wouldn't assure that it's a safe bet to have them be. I wouldn't. To me, it would be unanimous if the Yankees were first in the AL East. There's just a lot of question marks with that team that are there. Okay. So let's go to the next team I think is gonna challenge the Yankees, and that's the Blue Jays. Now the Blue Jays had a busy offseason. They changed their style a little bit. They went more of a defensive style, especially with the outfield. They got rid of power hitters and Teoscar Hernandez for some bullpen help. That's only because Teoscar Hernandez is a free agent at the end of the season. But Eric Swanson will definitely help their bullpen, especially with the K's striking out, which you need in the bullpen. Also, they got rid of Luis Gurriel / Gabriel Moreno in the Dalton Varsho deal, which I like. Varsho is a Gold Glove caliber defender, and he's gonna play left field. Even though I think he could play all the outfield positions at a Gold Glove caliber weight, and he's not like his average is not high, but he can hit for power. He had 27 home runs last year with Arizona, so I think he could definitely hit 30 with the Blue Jays. So he provides some of the offense that they lose with Teoscar, but he'll give you more value than Teoscar Hernandez because he is a much better outfielder. Now, the reason they have a new center fielder in Kevin Kazmaier is because they're moving Springer to right. Springer gets hurt a lot, so they're putting less pressure on Springer by moving right field. And they bought Brendan Belt for veteran leadership to help out play first base, and etc. And they did get Chris Bassett, one Stripling left. It's a solid 4: Bassett, Burials, Manoa, and Gosman. If they get Burials back to he was before last year's season, they have a very solid 4. Okay. And they could definitely compete with the Yankees. They're young and hungry. So now let's get to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is a team you could never count out, okay? Okay? This team is this is the most surprising team of all sports. They're always good for some reason. But I think they still have the good pitching. You know, they still have Shane McClanahan. Gazel's out. Springs, Rasmussen. I still think they had some pitching, but I think They don't have the offense. I mean, Franco has to be healthy, but I still don't think it's enough offense on their part to compete. I think they actually lost some offense, okay? And then let's go to Baltimore. Baltimore had a really surprising season. They were 500, got a lot of top prospects, good bullpen, Felix Bautista, a lot of top prospects. Ali Rutschman, the catcher, he looks like he could be a stud. He is a stud already. Gunnar Henderson or whatever. They got a top pitching prospect, Grayson Rodriguez. Now, maybe they might have perhaps got ahead of themselves last season. We'll have to see if they not take a step back. But Baltimore's a team to watch out for. Okay? Boston's a team I question. I don't know what direction Boston's going in, okay? They lost Bogart and they lost JD Martinez. Big losses there. JD Martinez, not as much as Bogart because JD Martinez is on the long age of 30 and he is declining. Bogart's still in his prime, but he's going to San Diego. Now, the signings they made was Justin Turner, who, solid, but he's 37, 38. Kelly Jansen, still a solid reliever, but not elite. Corey Kluber, still solid pitcher, but not great as once was with Cleveland. There's a lot of Adam Duvall, good outfielder, can hit for power, but there's a lot of question marks beyond, especially the pitching and bullpen. I don't trust Boston, okay? So if I had to go divisions from AL East, I'm going to go Yankees, Toronto, Tampa, Baltimore, Boston. But I think Toronto could challenge New York for the division lead. Okay? Let's go to the Central. AL Central. This is between Chicago, Cleveland, Detroit, Kansas City, and Minnesota. So I think this division is a 3-team race, okay? Between Cleveland, Chicago, and Minnesota. Chicago should be better than last year. They had a really down year with full of injuries. If you put 2 and 2 together, they're really the most talented team in that division if they're healthy. Okay? So I'm going to go based on health. I think Chicago is the best team, but Cleveland and Minnesota are definitely threats in the division. Okay? Cleveland, I think, has a solid pitching, and they don't have a bad offense either. They don't rely on power, but they have some good contact hitters. It's just that it has let them down in the playoffs a lot lately. And Ramirez is good. Ramirez was billed as the MVP for half the season, but yeah. Now Minnesota, I think, made some solid additions too. Man, they got Carlos Correa back. We thought he was going to San Francisco. That didn't work out. We thought he was going to the Mets. That didn't work out, but he's going back to Minnesota. And they made some solid additions too. Pablo Lopez for Luis Arizonas. I mean, they got their bullpens better, but I think they really lost a good contact hitter. Joey Gallo may have a bounce back year with them. They got, I think, a very underrated move is Christian Vasquez, the catcher, very good defensive catcher. Okay, I think he'll help the rotation, the pitching a lot. But yeah, but Kansas City is still rebuilding, and Detroit is still rebuilding. Detroit has some solid farm prospects, same with Kansas City. They're not ready yet. So if I go division here, I go Chicago, Cleveland, Minnesota, Kansas City, and Detroit. Or Detroit and Kansas City. But, yeah. Let's go to the AL West. AL West contains the Los Angeles Angels, Oakland Athletics, Seattle Mariners, Texas Rangers, and the Houston Astros. Now, this division has definitely got a lot stronger in the offseason. Texas has made some moves, and the Los Angeles Angels made some moves. They want to get better. Los Angeles Angels especially, and I'll tell you why. But Houston is, despite Houston losing Verlander, Uriel, Houston did acquire Jose Abreu, and I still think they're great young pitching. They still got a good offense with Altuve, Bregman, Yudor Alvarez, and other pieces. I still think Houston is the best team in that division, right? Seattle is the second best team. I think Seattle got better. Teoscar Hernandez is a solid addition, and they made some other moves. So I'll go Seattle's there. Texas, I could definitely see Texas. The question about Texas is that the additions they made in the rotation. I mean, they got DeGrom, who, when healthy, might have been the best pitcher in the league, in the majors. But the thing is, he hasn't been healthy, and they spent a lot of money on him. Now, if he has problems in the rotation, that could really hurt Texas. And he also signed Nathan Eovaldi, who's a solid mid-rotation guy, but like DeGrom, he's injury prone. So there's a lot of question marks with the rotation. Healthy, they could be competing for a wild card. So I think Texas is third, and I think the Angels could battle for third. I think the Angels made some solid additions in the offseason with Tyler Anderson, Gio Urshela, and some other moves. Because they want to keep Ohtani there, man. They want to compete and keep Ohtani there. People are speculating that if the Angels don't improve and don't show signs of improvement, that Ohtani is going to leave and join another team because he's afraid at the end of he's afraid at the end of the season. So they want to show that they're serious about competing and that they want him here to be signed with the team. Okay? And Oakland is being Oakland. They're going to be terrible. They might be I'll say Oakland, Kansas City, and Detroit might be the worst teams in the American League. They might end up being the worst teams in the majors. So I'll say this. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. And so let's go to the National League. Let's do the National League East, which is, to me, a very strong division, especially top three. And Miami is no slouch either. Miami, do not take Miami lightly. Washington, you could take. They're rebuilding and they're going to take a few years. Washington is just basically might be one of the worst teams in National League and one of the majors. Okay, so don't take Washington light. Don't. Washington is not a threat at all. Okay, Miami to me is a team you got to watch out for. They got good pitching. I think they improved a little bit offensively, and obviously they made some solid offensive moves. Miami might be a team that could surprise some people. They might not be a terrible team. There might be a team that's just barely over 500 or barely under 500. They're going to be a team that is going to cause good teams trouble, the Marlins. But the top three teams, Atlanta Braves, New York Mets, and Philadelphia Phillies, they're going to battle out for the division and eventually the wild card because I think two of those teams are definitely going to make the playoffs. Now, New York Mets just lost their closer, Edwin Diaz, going down. He's out for the year. And he just resigned to a 5-year deal, like $100-something million. Like he's making $20 million a year, which is a lot for a reliever. But he had a breakout year closing for the Mets. So I understand why they paid for him. But he got hurt in spring. He got hurt, and he's out for the year. So they got to find somebody else to close out games for them. But I still think their rotation is good. I mean, they lost some rotation people, but they got Verlander. If Verlander's healthy and he had a year like last year, he'd be dominant. But Verlander and Scherzer, I know they're both aging pitchers. But if they're healthy and they just don't show signs of age, they're still healthy. They can help with the Mets. Their offense is still solid. I know Correa would have put them like over the top on one of the most ridiculous things ever. I mean, the Mets just spend. Is it Cohen, the owner? Sorry. It has like an unlimited amount of money. He doesn't care how much he has to spend for the Mets to win. Okay? It's ridiculous. Atlanta, to me, is good young team still. I do like their starting pitching. I do like their offense. If Acuna comes back healthy, I know they lost Swanson to shortstop, but I don't think it'll hurt them as much. They had the rookie of the year, Michael Harris. This kid Grissom, two rookies who did very, very solidly. They still got one Acuna, Ozzie Davis, Greg Olson at first Greg Olson. No, Matt Olson at first base. I like the addition of Sean Murphy from Oakland. I know it was a three-way trade and had to give up the young catcher in Contreras, Wilson Contreras' brother from St. Louis. But I still think that's a good deal. He's an all-around a 5-tool catcher. So I still think it's going to be a 3-team race in the NL East between that. So between Philadelphia, New York, and Atlanta. Now the Phillies, oh my God, I think they have the best offense in that division. Look at that offense. I know Harper is going to be out for some time, so it may hurt their offense a little bit, but I still think they have enough offense to carry the team without Harper. You got Trey Turner. What do you say about Trey Turner, man? Reese Hopkins, JT Realmuto, and et cetera, et cetera. I still think they have enough offense to carry Kyle Schwarber. I still think they have enough offense to carry that team without Harper there. I mean, Harper makes that lineup just OP, really. They're pitching, compared to Atlanta and New York, their pitching is questionable. I mean, they have some solid pitchers. You got Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler. Still very good pitchers. Now, if Taijuan Walker could be as good as he was with the Mets and some other additions to the rotation, I think it definitely would help. Because I do think they went to the World Series. I know they went to the World Series. I do think they have the offense that could carry them. So definitely in the NL East, it's going to be a 3-team race between Philadelphia, Atlanta, and New York Mets. But Miami is no slouch. Miami can easily be a 500 team. Now, when I mean 500, I mean like an 80-win team, okay? You just got to go 81 and 81. Because I really do like their pitching. The one thing that held them back last season was their offense, but I do think they made some solid additions on that front with the Minnesota trade for Luis Arias, or whatever his name is. Julius Gurriel. But you gotta watch it for a minute. They're not a team to take lightly, okay? Okay, now let's go to the division. I think it's the weakest in all of the MLB. The Central Division. Milwaukee Brewers, Chicago Cubs, Cincinnati Reds, Pittsburgh Pirates, and St. Louis Cardinals. Why do I say this is a weakness? There's not a lot of star power in this division. Honestly, there's not a lot. I think St. Louis has star power. I'll say that. But the other team, Milwaukee has some star power, but Chicago may have star power too. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they have star power. I mean, they're the Cubs, but it's still the weakest division. Look, I think it's the weakest division, but I still think it got a little better, okay? For some teams. Look, I still think St. Louis might be the best team because St. Louis is a team that always surprises you, but I don't think they're an elite team. I think they're a good team, but I don't think they're a dangerous team, okay? An elite team. I mean, they got Goldschmidt, who was MVP, and Darren Aladon, and they're solid pitching, but they don't scare me, St. Louis. Milwaukee, to me, I think got a little worse. I know they have Corbin Burns and Woodruff, who are so good, solid pitchers, but I don't trust the rotation after that, and I don't trust their offense. I don't think they have enough offense that can compete with. I mean, they can compete maybe in that division, but I don't think they have enough offense to compete with the other teams in the National League. I think St. Louis has a better chance because they got two really, really elite hitters, okay? And Goldschmidt and Darren Aladon, okay? But I think Milwaukee does. They got to rely on their pitching, especially with Corbin Burns and Woodruff. Okay? Now, the Cubs, I'll say this. The Cubs, I think the Cubs this season could surprisingly challenge the Cardinals for the division. I don't think Chicago should really be taking that. They made some good offseason moves. Clay Bellinger, I know he had a terrible year. Started 1-year deal. Maybe this is his year we could get his stock back, his value back up. And if he could put up good defense and hit it, I'm not asking for 260, 270, but maybe a 230, 240 with good defense and gets you 20 to 30 home runs, I think that's solid for him. I do like the Swanson deal. I mean, he's not an elite shortstop, but he's a solid, good shortstop, okay, who plays every day, can get you 20 home runs, can get you 70 to 80 RBIs, and a decent average, 260, 270, which is good, which is solid, right? I think they improved their rotation. James Talon, and Stroman, they have that. I think the Cubs could surprise some teams here in the National League, in the National League Central. Now, Pittsburgh has decided to spend a little money. Now, they spend the money on guys for 1 or 2 years. That's because they're still going in a direction where they're going to build around young players. Pittsburgh's a team that doesn't have a lot of money, one of the lowest payroll teams, right? But they have spent some money on some veterans like Carl Santana. They brought back Andrew McCutchen, Austin Hedges. They signed Rich Hilder. That's because they want some veterans in there when they're rebuilding. When you have young players coming up or on the major league team, you want some veterans in your clubhouse to guide them, to help them, to teach them, right? To help them learn, the younger learn. And that's what I think that's what I think Pittsburgh's doing here. And they got a top 10 farm system. And this is Pittsburgh, man. They can't rely on spending lots of money. They can't compete with the big boys, with the big spenders. And there's a lot of spenders in baseball. The Mets, the Dodgers, Yankees. You could go on. Even Padres, Blue Jays. You can't. Cincinnati, on the other hand, I don't know what Cincinnati is doing, really. I don't know what direction Cincinnati is going. I mean, they have Votto, but I think they're going to be the worst team in that division. I really don't know what Votto. I don't know. I know Votto just like, here's the thing. I want Votto to get traded, play for a team, get him a chance to get a ring at least. But he's dead set on staying at Red and retiring as a Cincinnati Red. I gotta give credit to him for that. But yeah. So I got St. Louis winning, but I wouldn't be surprised if Chicago wins this Central. Let's go to the West. The West. To me, the West is a 2-team race between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the San Diego Padres. I'll say this. I still think the Dodgers are a good team, really good team, but I think they're taking a small step back because I think they lost some key players and they haven't spent that much in this offseason. Okay? And I think there's a reason for that. They're waiting for some of the bigger players. I think they're waiting for Ohtani as a free agent. I think if Ohtani does head to free agency and the talk is that Angels are not planning to resign, I think the Dodgers are going to go out. But they're going to rely on some younger players to fill the positions that they lost. Like they didn't go out for a third baseman to replace Turner, etc. They lost Gavin Lux for the season. They're shortstop now. Once Turner left, I still think the Dodgers are a good team, but I don't think they're the best team in that division right now. And I think the best team in the division right now is San Diego. I really do like their offense, man. Tatis, Machado, Soto, Bogart. That top 4, woo! Their rotation, if they get Snell to his Ray form, double Rays form, they have a legit ace there. I mean, you have Darvish. I think their rotation's a little weak, by Musgrove. I think 4 and 5 is a little weak, but I still think they're the best team, and I really do like Hader as their bullpen, as their closer. I know for a month and a half he was really not having a good month and a half. I mean, really, he was getting hit. His ERA was hiked. All that. It was really, really bad. Maybe he's starting. Maybe it's getting to a point where he's not elite anymore. But if he can capture that elite form he had in Milwaukee, they have a really good closer. But I'm still thinking I'm picking them over the Dodgers because I really do like their 4. I mean, I like the Dodgers. I mean, the Dodgers still have a solid offense of Betts, Freeman, Smith, and Will Smith, and Max Muncy. But man, look at that offense. The San Francisco Giants. I think the San Francisco Giants might be a little better, but they lost Will Don. I think Will Don's a big loss. They replaced him with Stripling. Mitch Haniger. The thing is, Mitch Haniger is a solid addition if he's healthy, but I think he's hurt already. So I don't know. I mean, they lost on Correa, and I think losing on Correa hurts them a lot because if they put Correa, I would have San Francisco higher on my list as a potential team that's going to be a 500 team, but I don't. Because Correa, well, he failed the physical and he's back in Minnesota, right? So San Francisco to me might be borderline 500 at best. Now, Arizona to me is a team you got to watch out for. I really do like Zach Gallen, their ace, but I don't know much about their rotation behind them. But I do like their young core in terms of They extended their top prospect Corbin Carroll, whatever his name is. They have Alexis Thomas. They have a bunch of other good young outfielders. I think Arizona is a team you got to watch out for. And the thing about Colorado is one of those teams where they might hit, but Colorado, they can't pitch. So if I had to go division here, I go San Diego, LA, San Francisco, Arizona, Colorado. Okay. Now, who is going to make the playoffs? So now there's 6 teams that make the playoffs, right? As of last season, right? Right? Sorry, last season. So in the AL, I'm going with Yankees, Blue Jays, Chicago, Houston, and Seattle. Those are my 5. And as my 6th team, I got Cleveland. Okay, so Toronto, New York, Seattle, Houston, Chicago, and Cleveland. Okay, now 3 of those teams are division leaders. So the division leaders automatically go, but the other 3 are wild card teams. Whoever has the best record. Okay, right? So and the NL, man, NL is tougher, a little bit tougher for me. Okay. In the NL, my 6 teams are Mets, Braves, Phillies, St. Louis, LA, and San Diego. I know I only have 1 team from the Central in there because, like I said, I think that's a weak division. And I got 3 teams from the National League East. So once again, AL, Yankees, Blue Jays, Chicago, Cleveland, but don't be surprised if Minnesota ends up there. Seattle and Houston. From the NL, Atlanta, Philadelphia, New York, St. Louis, LA, and San Diego. Now, my World Series prediction, I don't have the Yankees there. Okay, I don't think the Yankees, if they make some moves in the deadline, maybe. But I don't have the Yankees there. I don't have Cleveland there. I don't have Seattle there. But I have Milwaukee there. I think not Milwaukee, Houston. I think Houston will go back. And the NL is tough, a little bit tougher, because I'm gonna go Houston, and San Diego in the World Series. And also, you gotta remember there's new rules in effect. Like a pitch clock, bigger bases, stuff like that, right? And the pitch clock it's definitely made a game shorter, about half an hour to 45 minutes shorter than a 3-hour typical game. Also, the big thing they're doing first time, instead of having interleague play is done. Well, it's done. You're not playing just one. You're not playing. It's not division versus division. It's not an AL versus NL division versus division now. AL and National League teams are playing everybody From now on, starting this season, every AL team and every NL team are going to play each other. Now, they're not going to play each other twice. One year, you're going to be in your home, and the next year, you're going to do vice versa. For example, the New York Yankees, they're going to play in Chicago with Chicago Cubs in Chicago maybe this year. I don't know the schedule, honestly. I don't know what the schedule is for New York Yankees, but just for example, so the Yankees, if they're in Chicago this year for the Cubs, next season the Cubs will come there to the Yankee Stadium. That's how we're doing it. So every team plays everybody, okay? Every team plays everybody. I'm excited for it. I'm all for it. I wanted that for a long time. I was a big proponent of National League and American League teams playing everybody. I wanted that, man. I'm like, give it to us. I want everybody to see the stars, man. You know, and the best teams in the people want to see the Yankees in their town. Okay, boo them, cheer them, whatever. But that's my live stream, guys. Like, share, subscribe, comment below. Tell me your predictions, and take care, guys.